Now, as you may know, the Rockets and Warriors Western Conference Finals matchup was the real NBA Finals this year, where the Rockets were able to take the Warriors to 7 games. Although they lost, somehow the Rockets managed to do the unimaginable. They went to Oakland, where the Warriors had not lost in the playoffs since that game in 2016, and turned the game ugly and forced their opponents to be uncomfortable while erasing a 12-point lead in the last 11 minutes. Then they went home and won again, with Chris Paul making impossible shots and proving that he deserved his status as one of the greatest point guards and competitors to ever live. 2 critical defeats in a row was new territory for the Warriors, who hadn't suffered such an embarrassment since they blew a 3-1 lead against the Cavaliers. But the victory came at the cost of Chris Paul's hamstring injury for the Rockets, even though the Warriors were without Andre Iguodala and had several other players injured. Paul's injury tipped the series highly in their favor. The Rockets' season would eventually come to an end as they missed 27 straight 3-pointers against the Warriors in that Game 7. After winning, the Warriors would go to the NBA Finals to sweep a badly put-together Cleveland Cavaliers team. Once free agency hit, the Rockets had 2 goals to accomplish. 1 was to keep their main pieces together. 2 was to add more depth and pieces to their team. With that in mind, the reason the Houston Rockets were able to compete with the Golden State Warriors this year was because they added defensive presence to their team. But with moves they made this offseason, their situation may have already changed too much for the Rockets to pretend they're the same team as last year. Trevor Ariza is gone. The Rockets' 3-and-D wing, who took a tough assignment and shot nearly 37% from 3 last season, spurned Houston and agreed to a 1-year, $15 million deal with the Phoenix Suns on the first day of free agency. Apparently, he wasn't the Rockets' first priority, and it burned them. Chris Paul agreed to re-sign with the team on a 4-year, $160 million maximum deal. It was the rare occasion in which losing a role player felt more consequential than retaining one of the biggest stars in the league. A second surprise came Monday when it was reported that Luc Mbah a Moute agreed to sign a 1-year, $4.3 million deal with the Clippers. Despite his late season effectiveness due to shoulder injuries, Mbah a Moute was a vital contributor to the Rockets' switch-everything defensive plan last season. He had the best defensive rating of any Houston Rocket rotation player with at least 1,000 minutes. The Rockets' woes don't even end there, as they just signed Carmelo Anthony to a 1-year deal. Carmelo Anthony is not even a perfect fit for the Houston Rockets. The Rockets thrived in a heavy isolation system last season, but it was rooted in James Harden and Chris Paul's individual efficiency. While there would be space for Melo to stay mellow, he proved in his season with the Thunder that he's one of the least efficient players in the game. The season is long, and as we saw from the Cavaliers last season, the Rockets don't necessarily have all the moves during the summer to make to better their team. The Rockets only want another shot at the Warriors, and I'm sure possible deals will come up. But after being shunned by the LeBron this summer and seeing the Lakers, Thunder, and Jazz either maintain their roster or make notable improvements in the West, this season is shaping up to be a tougher climb than the last. The Rockets, as it stands, should be still considered the second favorites out West, but a scary possibility looms. What if they've already reached their peak? We ask ourselves this question about the Rockets, yet we cannot ask ourselves this question about the Warriors. As of right now, I don't see any team stopping the Warriors, and that includes the Rockets. They have just added DeMarcus Cousins, the best center in the NBA, to their roster. Season after season, the Warriors still find ways to get better and better through free agency or the draft. If the Rockets don't make sudden changes to their roster throughout the season, there will be no beating the Warriors. As this video comes to an end, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more.